We have to tell you about our relationship segment. And before I do the introduction, I have to say that if you have any of those related stories, those experiences you've had in a relationship, in a courtship situation, you can always send those stories to us for us to discuss through info@myjoyonline.com. But today we have a story. It's talking about the use of finances in a certain relationship.
Dear AM, I've been married for 5 years, but I'm losing it. See, before we married, my husband, who was my boyfriend then, used to provide everything I needed. He actually promised that he would continue when we marry. Fast forward to now, everything has changed. He says I should use my salary for chop money while he takes care of other businesses. Dear AM, I'm dumbfounded because that's not what he promised me before we got married. You see, my husband earns 3 times what I earn, so I find this new suggestion very ridiculous. I want to report him to my parents because I can't use my salary for stuff. Dear AM, I don't ask him to buy my dresses and other personal things, so why should I use my money to take care of the home? Please advise me. Senam Ablikuma.
Well, so Mama V's here. Mama V,
yes,
Charlie. It's well,
we've had similar conversations
yeah, we've had
the
a conversation on this.
Except that this is a bit different.
Yes, this one is about what the situation was before, and I'm not sure it's different from what experiences are in many relationships or marriages.
Yeah.
And then now she has to use her keep to keep the house, her earning to keep the house. Okay. So it's a familiar conversation.
Whilst he does like what we say, the big things at home. You know, well, like pay the bills, yeah, that kind of thing.
You know, some people say they are building. For example, I had a friend who said that, well, the husband said building. He's the one taking care of their building or the structure they are building, so he's using that. Yeah, and she could see that, yeah, he's using that. But the thing is, you have a foremost responsibility. But yeah, let's put this into perspective.
Yesterday, I read a post on Facebook that said, no matter, was it you who reposted or something? No matter how much she earns, always give her something.
Well,
was it you?
That's my position. I'm not sure I did.
Okay. Yeah, somebody posted that.
It's a position that I hold.
Okay, but let's put this.
No matter how less you earn than her,
yeah,
you have
still
to
give her something.
And no matter what you're doing with what you earn, even though agreed, you have still to, because it will come up at some point in time.
Okay. Now let's put this letter into proper perspective. Let's break it down like we usually would do, Roland.
Okay. So this is how it is. You know, usually all couples will go through some phase of getting to know each other. We call it courtship, or they're getting to know me, knowing you.
Exactly.
And at the time, men, we have a certain posture, and because of the socio-cultural inclination that I want to be the man, so you're spending. If you go for dinner, or you take the lady out, you're the one who will pay the bill. You seem to support her financially.
But check this. He promised to.
Yes,
so
I know.
Unlike in some instances where we're dating, we're courting, we have not talked about how it is going to be. They fortunately did. Yeah. And he said, I'm going to take care of everything.
Yeah, definitely. So now you then give the assurances, I'll sort it out. When we marry, I'm going to sort you out. What we don't know is what level of sorting out, what level of upkeep was he referring to? Now, what sort of responsibilities also have come up in this relationship or this marriage currently? Is the gentleman using his money, or have they agreed among themselves that they want to use the money to buy a car or to pay for some loan for a rent, or even build a house or buy a land, etc.? And if they don't have those points of agreements, but the gentleman or the husband has just chosen not to go by the rule of being the man who should be in charge financially, then that's a problem. I feel that would be a problem. Look, money would always come up, and you should give something. You should give something.
And the man?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay, but she earns something,
two,
even though it's really small.
Yeah, you should give something. And then
should she only use that to take care of herself in this situation so that the man is doing every other thing? Because she says, I don't ask you to buy me shoes, I don't ask you to buy me dresses. That is to suggest that, okay, those are all supposed to be your responsibility, by the way. But because I'm earning something, I choose to take care of my bits.
I think that even in the West, that used to be the conversation. The man used to look after the home. And so you get to find out with the times, the women were even housewives until the early 1900s. And then we had from 1920, the women started working as well, and women's rights became more visible. Women wanted to do things of their own and also become more responsible. So that's when the shared responsibility aspect of the relationship or the marriage started coming up. Look, no matter what we think, the man, according to not only what the religious tenets are, but the order and nature of society, is said to be the head of the family. Is said to be the more stronger one between the two. And as a result of that, that sort of responsibility have always been put on the head of the man. So and that is where I'm coming from. I'm saying that you should always give something. Now, the second part I want to add is that you should agree on what it is you want each other to do. You see, that defines the borders. So that when that sense of promise is reneged upon, you could have something to stand on to say, oh, I was not asking so much, but we had agreed on this. And now you're not fulfilling your end of the bargain. That also absolves each other of having a certain indecision about I'm giving too much or I'm paying too much of the bills, etc. Because we should know that currently women are in a position to earn same or more or just
or
almost
something,
or almost like what the husband or the man would also earn in a relationship.
All right, let's invite all of you into this conversation. We're going to put our WhatsApp number out there so you can reach out via WhatsApp. But let's get somebody who knows way better than the two of us on this conversation. Rabbi Odame Ansah is founder of Grace House Chapel and the CEO of Marriage Clinic. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your time. I'm sure you've read this letter that was sent to us on Dear AM. First of all, in terms of the finances, not directly the letter, the letter that we received, what should you have a conversation whilst you're dating or you're going through marriage counseling, what the finances, the arrangement would be when you get married?
All right. So good morning to your listeners as well. When it comes to the issue of marriage, before you go into it, it's always appropriate for the parties that are going into the marriage to sit down and clearly define their expectations. And I'm using the word clearly. You need to define what your expectations are in all the segments and the dimensions of human life. And finances plays a major role in that. Sexual expectations, how you want in-laws must be treated, whatever, spiritually, whatever you expect as a woman from the one who is going to be a husband, and from the man, from the one who is going to be a wife. Now, after those expectations have been clearly spelled out, it is important not to betray trust. All right? So if the man gave certain promises, it's unfortunate that he's turning down on the promises. But in any case, if you go into any marriage and promises are turned down, for whatever reason, in this case where the woman has started complaining, if the woman brings the money home, where is she taking the money to? She's paid, the man is paid. If they are all in need till the end of their lives, as the Bible prescribes, where are you taking your money to? Even if the man decides to pay everything and will not even allow you to use your salary, Who are you taking the money to? You are bringing the money into the marriage. You understand? So it shouldn't be an issue if we should take the betrayal of the promise away. It shouldn't be an issue.
Okay, so I see
the woman should rather prove a point, and whatever she's expecting from the man, it's important that she starts exhibiting it, because it is said that as you want men to do to you, do to them likewise, and that's what we practice. Okay. If you want your husband to be giving to you, give to your husband. If you want your wife to respect you, respect your wife.
Okay.
If you want your wife to come home early, you come home early too.
So I see that you are addressing Senam's letter directly. Is that what you're doing?
Yes, I am only giving a general advice.
Okay. All right. So let's zero in on the letter then. This is a case where the husband had promised before the marriage that he was going to take care of everything. She says the husband earns 3 times more than she does. She takes care of her personal self. And the husband now wants her to use some of her salary to take care of food. Because if you say chop money, then, to take care of essentially food at home, so that he would concentrate on the other things. What do you make of the shift? Because I guess from the woman's point of view, this is a shift. This is not what you had promised.
All right, so she should take her time and try to find out why that shift. That's number one. Nobody does anything for nothing. Ask for why the shift. If it makes a lot of sense, good. If he explains to you, good. If he doesn't, good. In all, you are in it. But what I would like the woman to do is, after, if in case she's fortunate for the man to explain why, and she doesn't even agree, there is a way to handle and go about it. The Bible says that for every matter, no matter how it weighs on you, there is a proper time and procedure for it. No matter how the matter weighs everything on you, Ecclesiastes, there is a proper time, a proper procedure for talking about that matter. So it doesn't end there. Even if the man comes in with an explanation and she's not comfortable with it, it doesn't end there. She can keep on going ahead several times and continue to dialogue and continue to talk about the situation until finally the husband gains understanding. If he doesn't gain understanding, there is a procedure also that we have been taught by Christ Jesus to handle issues of such nature. And that can be found in Matthew chapter 18, 15 to 17. Matthew 18, 15 to 17. He said, if your brother offends you, go to your brother, between you and your brother. Handle the issue. If he or she understands, you gain your brother, you gain your husband, you gain your wife. If there is no understanding, he says, go a little further. Pick 1 or 2 people and then deal with the issue. If it doesn't happen, go to the church. So this issue where people say, I don't want issues of my marriage to go out, it's neither here nor there. Jesus permits that if there is conflict, this is the method by which we should handle it. Okay. And the third method says, if you go to the church, that's your pastor, and it doesn't work, he said, treat the person as an unbeliever. And I tell people that the way we treat unbelievers is to pray for them and love them, so that they can also become believers. You don't hate and despise them. So in all these things, we are permitted to if you do what the Bible says, it makes you wise. And it makes you also stand in the position and say, God, if God were to be in your shoes, that is how we would have gone about the situation. Anybody who applies the word of God in his or her marriage or relationship is only saying that I am doing what God would have done if he were to be in my shoes.
So, granted that there was a promise that I would take care of everything, but reasonably, you also earn something. Should you use yours to just buy clothes and stuff for yourself? Should you use yours to take care of yourself? Can't you contribute to the larger household in a way?
Oh, yes. The woman, even though the man promised everything, he promised he would take care of everything. It is in the woman's own interest to also support. because the reason why God created the woman in the first place, when he was suggesting to himself and the Trinity in heaven that I need to make for the man a suitable helper, he didn't even use the word woman. The word woman comes from the man. It is the man who first mentioned that word woman. God, in the eyes of God, God sees all women as suitable helpers. That is the phrase God gave to the woman. So when God had brought the woman to the man, then the man said, this is not bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken from man. So with God, God doesn't see the female aspect as a woman. He sees the female aspect as a suitable helper. So anything that will give your husband a suitable help, a help that suits the man, that is what God created the woman for, fundamentally and primarily.
Okay,
yes.
So I have to ask you this, and this is not directly because of the letter, but it's also related. And Roland, my colleague, and myself have had conversation on it.
Okay, sir.
Should a man definitely give a woman, so say maybe weekly, daily, monthly, whatever works, or quarterly, should a man, no matter how much the woman earns, must he contribute in terms of deliberately give her some amount of money?
You see, the woman is there to support. So you, the man, must initiate, and the woman will support. Who gives what, who does what, and why? All these things must be negotiated. If the man is earning less, the woman is earning more. It is always important for the two to sit down and then talk. You, the man, humble yourself and say, this is my salary, and I am supposed to take care of the house, and you are supposed to support me. So at that moment, if the woman gives more than the man, and it will give the man the suitable help, then the woman should do it, because that is the major function of the woman. So anything that will give the man a suitable help is what the woman should concern herself with.
Okay.
So if the man is not rich as compared to the woman, it is up to the man to come and negotiate and talk to the woman. You are richer than me. And thank God you are richer than me. And I'm sure God did it for a purpose. So please, I need your support. You need to be able to say this to the woman.
So say you didn't have this conversation at the beginning. If you didn't have this conversation at the beginning, you are in the middle of it. The marriage is ongoing now. The man doesn't necessarily give you anything. And you guys haven't talked about the financial arrangement. How do you begin to have that conversation so that it doesn't seem like you are either complaining, or maybe because suddenly the woman is earning more, she now wants us to talk and align things, and so that you're not misconstrued? Essentially, that's what I'm asking. How do you introduce that conversation in your marriage now if you didn't do it at the beginning?
Okay, so if it's coming from the woman, then the woman can call the husband at any time she thinks it's favorable and say, my dear husband, A, B, C, D, I've realized that you are not able to, take care of the house as you're supposed to do. And that's why I am in your life. I'm able to support. So let's sit down. I want to know the areas where you are not comfortable, you are not able to handle, so that we see how best we can talk about it. In any case, this is what I'm able to offer on the table. So let's see how we can go about it. The woman can come in that manner, and I don't think it will be offensive. If any man takes offense to this, the man must check his ego, his pride, his arrogance, and his character. Yes.
Okay.
You are not able to do it, and the woman is coming in, even if the woman doesn't speak it well. She's a human being. You are not married to an angel. And thank God she's coming in. The way you will even receive the news, even if the woman is not coming in when she's coming in with abusive words or something, the way you will handle and respond it can calm nerves down. You understand? Yeah.
Okay. All right. Maybe finally to Senam, who wrote to us on her specific issue. She is threatening to go to her parents Is that a place she can go to? Is this a matter that must go to in-laws?
This is not a matter that must go to in-laws. This is a matter that she must take up between her and the husband. If she has not exhausted all the options the Bible has clearly prescribed to us, she must pray about it and then talk to the husband. And she must do it consistently. You know, you don't say 1, 2, 3, and then you expect to have the result. If you get the results at one attempt, praise God. But if you don't get the results at one attempt, come back again, look at the way you present it in a different way, the same story, and present it maybe 3 or 4 or 5 times. And then you can say, okay, if the understanding is not coming, you engage a very close friend of your husband, not yours, so that your husband will not feel ashamed, even if he will feel ashamed if it's in front of his close friend. But if you bring in somebody that your husband is not comfortable with, it becomes an issue. So you discuss it with your husband's close friend, you know, and then you listen to his ideas and stuff like that. And if that close friend is also a wise person, he might find a nice way to go about it and bring this discussion to the table that your husband will not feel betrayed or something. There are so many ways to go about it. There's always a proper way and procedure and time for handling every matter, even though it weighs heavily on you.
Okay. Rabbi, thank you so much for your time and the perspective that you bring to this conversation and the advice and the direction as well. We're grateful. That's Rabbi Odame Ansah. He's founder of Grace House Chapel and CEO of Marriage Clinic. Sanam, I know you're watching and you're listening, and that's from Rabbi.
I just had a message from a friend, Vincent Amri here. And he says that, what men can do, women can do better and even do it more. So if I'm contributing 100 Ghana, the woman should also contribute 250 or 200 Ghana. I'm thinking this.
Okay, he's not coming with the understanding of the specific letter that we received. So,
because there was a promise that was given. So it puts the matters into perspective. And then we're trying to relate this conversation to what the general norm is too. And we should know that no matter what we think, women, even if they are high earners or equal earners or almost equal earners, also have the responsibility to be who they are because they are wives in the first place. And the two of you decided to come to have this union together. It's not as if somebody is more compulsive and has a better or a greater role to play in all this. Yes.
All right, give us a call now, 0302-211-69102, and send us WhatsApp messages as well. Redwan is in Tamale. He's our very first caller. Good morning, Redwan.
Yeah, good morning.
Happy Farmers Day.
Oh.
Do you have a farm, Redwan? Do you have a farm?
No.
You don't even have a garden, like a backyard?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear your thoughts on this issue.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. And my greetings to Roland.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Roland.
Yes,
look
sir.
More of you straight into the eyes and try not to intimidate you. Man.
Mama V, stop intimidating me. She likes intimidating me.
Okay, yeah. Well, with my contribution to the topic, I think
Hello, Redwan?
I can hear you well.
Hello, Redwan?
Yes, please.
Please go ahead. We can hear you, so just move on. Yeah.
Yeah, my advice to the lady is, yes, when you are dating someone, there are lots the person does. But when it comes to marriage, sometimes a lot comes onto the man. And expectations must actually be guided. Before dating, there are no children. Probably the room that the man was accommodated for him. But after you coming in, all these things changes. So as our advisor was saying, the best thing now to do is for them to sit down and talk.
All right. Thank you very much, Redwan. Let's speak to Inusa. Good morning, Inusa.
Good morning, Mama V.
Yes, sir.
From this story there is a very big one.
What do you make of it? Have you come any close to anything like this?
Yeah. Even myself, I had a similar experience in the year 2015. So the problem is that today the economic condition is not all that good. But I blame the guy. If things have changed, he should have found a way. Even though you are earning higher than the lady, but there are responsibilities that there are other economic burdens, especially the extended family, like father and 2015 are in person. Even though my wife was earning, I would say, quintuple of my salary, but I was facing some economic challenges from my mother and father's side, but which I didn't inform. But later on, she stated and realized that I was going through some challenges. Then she came in to support me, and then things finally got better.
Okay.
So sometimes it is better you study the person and find it. That find it difficult to open. So the thinking to open up to tell the real story, you may end up. Well, a friend of mine did that with a lady, and then the lady divorced him.
Oh, Asin told her what the situation was, and she left?
What the situation was, because he was going through financial challenges, even though he was earning high, but something happened at the website. He had to took part of the salary to pay the debt. But when he said that the lady divorced him, it's not even up to a year now. So sometimes with the guy, we sometimes create the situation to find a way of it. If things are not going the way you want, you just have to manage it like that. So you should try and ask the guy details to see if she can ask, but maybe you can let somebody who is free to the guy. Really, either the mother or the father can do that too.
Okay. All right. Inosa, thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you too.
Let's cross over and go to Takwa. Kofi's on the line from Takwa. Kofi, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sister.
Yes, sir. Happy holiday. Let's hear your thoughts on this subject.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea for our sister to use her money to keep the house. I don't know whether they are having kids in the family. If they are having children, you agree with me that their responsibilities are going to be, which means the man has to pay the bills, the school fees, and what have you. So I don't think it's a bad idea for my sister now, right?
Yes.
To cater for the house, pay, buying foodstuffs and what have you. For all you know, maybe the man is also engaged in building, right?
Yeah, but shouldn't he discuss it? Shouldn't the two of them discuss it so that they know what they're doing and what they are not doing?
Yeah, that one was prior to marriage, before the marriage.
Yeah, but you know, you are in the marriage.
After the marriage, of course, a host of things changes. You get me?
So still discuss it.
You want to plan out the future. You want to put out a building and all that. And so if I have to use all my money, all my salary to put up a structure where we can lay down our head, I don't think it's a bad idea. And so you have to also contribute your widow's mite to the house. If you have to buy some food stuff for the house, I don't think it's a bad idea.
Okay. Let's speak to our... All right. That's Kofi from Takwa. Let's speak to our last caller because we have to read some WhatsApp messages. Kwesi is in Tema. Good morning, Kwesi.
Good morning.
Yes. Thank you for reaching out. Let's hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are missing the point. I think the main point is once you get married, they should put all their resources and earnings together. And everything they do it together.
Does it work that way for everybody?
Well, I'm talking mostly from, because I was listening to Rabbi, and I'm coming from the Christian perspective of marriage. So if you are a Christian, then I think you should put all your resources together. I know it goes against cultural norms, but I think that is the only way, is that there is equality in the marriage. You put everything together, because at the end of the day, if you marry because you want to spend the rest of your lives together, then that is the way to go about, and there will be complete peace. You make decisions together. But I know it goes against cultural norms, but that for me is the best way to have the
You sound like that works for you.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
And it does, yes, it does.
All right, great. Well, Kwesi, thank you so much for sharing.
You're most welcome.
All right, let's get WhatsApp messages.
So
yes.
we have a couple of WhatsApp messages. This one says, good morning. This is a typical behavior of 90%, 95% of our wives nowadays.
What research have you done?
They always feel their money should not be used in the upkeep of the family. Using their money on the family is a waste to them, they think. Roger Banye Dozie. That's a message from Upper West. Good morning, dear AM. I want to know if the man is responsible for the upkeep of the child in the situation where you are not married. Francis. Oh, okay, that's almost like taking us off. We wanted you to comment on this particular story we have. Roxanne from Wa says there shouldn't be so much wrong with the man asking her to support the house. It only becomes wrong if the man had decided to boycott his responsibilities at home together. Which responsibilities are? Perhaps you can clarify that for us. This one, Ebenezer Agilim says the lady shouldn't for that promise in a relationship. The lady shouldn't for that promises in a relationship are not real. Okay, the lady shouldn't. Promises in a relationships are not real, and truthful. So she shouldn't base on that in the marriage. The man should rather be careful, no matter how the lady is rich. The man is supposed to provide with his means. And that is from Hadi, from Kintampo. I agree with you. You're saying that no matter how high or how much the lady earns, the man should still be responsible for the home. This one is from Kennedy. It says, from Kennedy inside Keta. It is very bad. Both must contribute to the buying of foodstuff. Since the man earns 3 times of what the lady earns, he needs to use 10% of his salary for that. Not necessarily that the woman should buy foodstuff. But if the man insists to then let the woman go back to her parents. And for the man, he should go and look for a woman who can use a salary for foodstuffs in this 21st century. Quite interesting. Men should appreciate their wives because women are the most overworked and underappreciated of all. Even without any financial contribution to the family budget, the weight of contribution in terms of housekeeping, taking care of the children, etc., cannot be overemphasized. I think I agree with you.
Very good point.
If you have a woman who supports financially, that should be a bonus. I think no man should try to compel the wife to use the money for housekeeping. Unfortunately, you didn't add your name and where you're. Yeah, that was a good one. Good morning, my good people. The husband should be a man enough, or the husband should be man enough. I'm seeing him as a stingy person. And more importantly, the lady should also pray about it and try to talk to her husband. She should not think about divorce. Blessed Farmers Day to all agriculturists and farmers, you say. No name as well. The husband may be suspecting the wife may be abusing that promise by the way. So, by the way she has been spending.
Is that coming from a woman?
No, it's from a man.
Oh, that's interesting. Interesting how, there are other meanings into this letter that we've read.
Yeah. It says, hey, Mama V, this is your dress. Yeah. Okay. Don't be intimidated. It says Stanley. Okay. Okay.
I say my dress is intimidating.
No. So I shouldn't be intimidated by you.
Are you intimidated?
No.
By my outfit?
No. I think a lot of people don't know. They think I'm intimidated. We are in an imperfect world, and there's always a cause for every effect. The man may still wish he keeps up with the promise he made before marriage, but probably constrained due to additional responsibilities he didn't think of before making those promises. They can't talk over it, and both should meet each other halfway. Nonetheless, the man's excuses shouldn't be anything relating to irresponsible or immoral lifestyle. Quite interesting. Good morning. There should be a further sitting between them for consensus. You mean they should discuss. But the man should not define this in the course of the marriage. Okay. It's an advisable thing to do. Using monies for consumables is not receipted. The man uses his monies for assets and one day will say all those things are his, while the woman's monies go into food and toiletries, which are not assets. The man is just a cheat. And this is from Mause. Okay. Or Mausi.
Isn't that a bit strong, like a bit harsh?
Okay, good morning to you, Roland and Mama V. I think the two should sit and dialogue, even if they have to negotiate. However, from the religious point of view, it is wrong for the man to instruct the woman to provide chop money, because the good book says, clothe her, feed her, shelter her, and provide all the necessary and basic stuff. And the basic stuff should include feeding, which defines the chop money. However, it's wrong for the lady to go to her parents' house to report her husband. From Haruna.
I want to say amen to Haruna's message.
Haruna. Shukran. Desiba. Oli Carpenter from Wa. He said the man has to work hard and take care of the family. He is the head of the family, and it's a must that he does that. Yeah, I agree.
Well, we have to be closing.
Oh, should be
the conversation exactly.
Okay. Emmanuel from Sola says, good morning. Times are changing, and I see nothing wrong with the woman supporting the man. It must just be communicated well. Then again, will the man assist in the house chores when the woman also asks for help?
I like where you've taken it right now.
Can I read one more? Okay. Dear AM, a man must take care of the house and let the wife support. Okay, the man must take care of the house and let your wife support you. That makes him a man. The woman should sit him down and know what the problem really is. Okay. All right. And this one is saying, I'm waiting, read mine. Okay, so I'm going to read yours. Hi. In actual fact, marriage is an institution instituted by God from the beginning. And as he did, he handed the woman to the man. And that alone clarifies the fact that it is the responsibility of the man to take care of the woman. However, should the man face challenges, it is also the responsibility of the man to take care of, or the woman to take care of the man as well. If you love your man, why won't you give all you have if that is what will make your husband happy? And this is from Apostle Bequin Kumasi. Please read mine, or I just read it.
Okay, all right. And on that note, you know, we've received lots of messages. We obviously can't.
Yeah, we have lots of them.
But this is what I want to say on this this particular subject. You know, Kwesi called from Tema and said, you know, like if you put your
the man with the
money
British
together.
accent, yeah.
I know it works for some people, but I also have a certain suggestion. I'm thinking that maybe you can
put your money together.
You can put a certain percent, not 100%. I'm not going to say do 100%. You can have like a certain percentage. So you contribute a certain percentage, and I contribute a certain percentage. Now that is what we're going to use to take care of the whatever, maybe the bills and the blah,
you contribute
blah, blah.
a fraction of what you earn, even if it's not equal like the man's.
Well.